and welcome back to Southeast Texas Weekly. I'm Kevin Steele. Great to have you with us once again to talk politics here. People all around Southeast Texas come to us often and say, we've seen your program, we've seen Southeast Texas Weekly. We love to talk politics, and we love it when your people come forward to talk about it. And doing that today, State Representative Mike Hamilton with District 19 here in Southeast Texas. Good to see you, sir.
Glad to be here.
Kent Walston joins us as well.
Good to be here.
Nederland Municipal Judge, Albert Branick, Walston, and Devenzio. And on our far right today, Jeff Lewis, Republican activist, Precinct 27 Chairman. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you again.
As always. Very festive, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Later on in this broadcast, we hope we'll have a few nice things to say in keeping with the spirit of this lovely season. We'll be able to talk in a warm way
fuzzy
about the opposing parties. But first, let's mix it up. Will the Republicans blink first and decide to give Democrats a temporary payroll tax cut? Or will Democrats return to the talks and say that maybe a longer-term deal would be a good thing? The payroll tax cut, clearly at the center of political talk this entire week. Jeff, we'll start with you. What was it that broke down in your mind to on this matter of a payroll tax cut extension?
Well, I think right now it's just a matter of negotiation. Everyone getting as much
they had time
as
to
they want.
They did negotiate.
It's just a matter of getting as much as you want. I don't think there's too many people on the right that are going to object to a payroll tax cut. It's that when you have the argument that this pay cut, is coming out of Social Security. Essentially, all you're doing is accelerating the money that you would be getting out of Social Security in 20 years when that money's not there and your Social Security account goes broke. You're going to be wondering what happened to it. Well, that's because you're getting a tax cut on it now. If
Republicans are willing to negotiate, why do we not now have a bill?
What a political debacle by the Republicans. I mean, good Lord, all we have heard is tax cut, tax cut, tax cut from the Republicans. And the first time they get a chance to make one, even a temporary one, they reject it.
It's all about giving the president something to campaign on?
Well, certainly. This is going to be a great. He was just on the radio and TV just a while ago, talking about this very point. I'll sign it. Just get it to me. We can talk about extending it later. Let's get it done now. And, most of the Republicans voted for it. And I think it's a big debacle for them.
What happened with the talks there? When we see a $40 cut in every most middle class Americans' payroll, when we see a cut of $40, or what would effectively turn out to be a $40 increase every time you see your paycheck, right, every single time you get that, I mean, that's a big deal to Americans. What happened in the talks?
It does, and it was just, I think the Republicans just outmaneuvered themselves and sat there and thought that everything was going to, go on. I guess they didn't realize Christmas and New Year's was all coming up, and I think that they missed a big opportunity there. They should have taken the 2 months, gone home, then come back, and then they would have plenty of time to fight for a whole year. And
do you believe the White House when it says let's do this now, we'll come back later, and you think they would, in good faith, argue the 1 year?
Well, I'm not too sure about that. There's been a lot of times they've said in good faith, and they haven't really
The president made a great point today during his speech on TV. $40 is not a lot to people that make money, but a family that makes $50,000 a year, $40 a paycheck is a lot of money. It puts gas in the tank.
Not to Jeff Lewis. $40 is not that big a deal. Jeff Lewis. Jeff Lewis says
it doesn't do me to be good because I'm not working and I'm not getting a pay cut anyway on that. So, I would have to say that, speaking just for my family, my dad works hard. This payroll tax cut could mean about $1,000 per year in our household.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to us right now. We're struggling. Abominomics has really killed our employers around here, especially with what's going on with this Keystone thing. I mean, the administration has been an outright attack within the petroleum industry and stuff like that.
Then why did your speaker put the kibosh on this thing in the 11th hour? Speaker Boehner essentially put the kibosh on what could have been at least a temporary reprieve for the American worker.
I think it's something we ought to look at. I really want the speaker to go back and reconsider some of those things.
Are you satisfied
I think right now what's going on. I think there's some extra stuff that's not being released, some extra strings being pulled that are going along with this payroll tax cut. Otherwise, it would make sense to us that the Republicans went to agree to this. So what's going on?
Agrees with it.
So what's going on? That behind the scenes that's being strung over our head.
Has this payroll tax cut issue given the White House its first real bullet point to use in the 2012? I say the first real.
I think so. I think it has. I think it. You know, they gave him a nice little Christmas present for him, and he's going to use it in about 6 months and 8 months from now. You know, it's probably going to get done. The problem is it's going to get done. Eventually, all the Democrats want it, all the Republicans want it. You know, it's going to happen. I think it's just a matter of whose timing it's going to be on.
I expect to have it done by the end of the year myself.
Has the president just said to Speaker Boehner, pass it or else at this point? Because the president has come back. He seemingly has made an effective argument. Pass it or else. I mean, is it really now Speaker Boehner and the Republican Congress in the crosshairs?
Oh, I think so. You know, the onus is on the Republicans right now because he's ready to sign this bill to give effective tax relief to millions of middle-class families. And, you know, we always hear the Democrats say, we're for middle-class families and Republicans are always for the rich. This is an example of that. And he's going to tout that over and over again. You bet. It's a bullet point for him.
The president's going to have a hard problem making that argument, though, next year when you look at the track record of this administration, the way they've gone after small business and middle-class families. You've seen it all year. You've sat here on the show and talked about how the president's done that. So I would say that this would maybe be out of character for the president in what he's done to this point.
Interesting. Governor Rick Perry says his poor early debate performances were all about back surgery that he had during the summer. We'll discuss that and more when Southeast Texas Weekly continues right after this break.